O que esperar do Brasil na Comembol Copa América?
Não vou assistir nenhum jogo, faltando tudo. Garra, alegria, faltando jogar bem, então não vou assistir nenhum jogo.
Brazil, you have blood on your hands. The national team has pissed off even the most positive Brazilian in football history, Ronaldinho. And less than a week before the start of the Copa America, Seleção faced massive hate. But why? Is everything really that bad with the five-time world champions? What exactly is going wrong? What are the real reasons why Ronaldinho went on rampage against the Brazilian national team, and is it even the case? Let us tell you the truth. After Brazil's friendly against the United States, which ended in a 1-1 draw, Ronaldinho Gaucho not only made a scandalous statement in an interview, but also continued to criticize his native team on his social media. In a post that shocked everyone, the former Pentacampeon attacker called the current Brazil one of the worst teams in recent years and added that he had never seen a situation as bad as this. It was very cruel and unexpected. It was so harsh that, according to local press reports, the president of the Brazilian Football Confederation, Ednaldo, even blocked Ronaldinho on his WhatsApp. Fans also disagreed with Ronaldinho's words. His comments were perceived as a betrayal right before the start of the Copa America, where Brazilians needed complete unity and support. The criticism quickly reached the players, and Brazilian winger Rafinha reacted at a press conference. Ronaldinho says he will not watch the Brazilian national team. A few days ago, he was writing to Vinicius Jr. and asking him to provide him with tickets so that he could come and watch the national team's match. In any case, I was surprised and I don't agree with his statement. But there are also big names who share Ronaldinho's opinion. The most recognized among them is Romario. If we talk about the Seleção and compare it to Ronaldinho's Seleção, he's 100% right. Ronaldinho's Seleção was the last Seleção that enchanted the world. The football presented by them will be almost impossible for us to introduce again. It's true that the Brazil of Ronaldo, Kaká, Adriano, Roberto Carlos and Cafu will never be brought back. But Ronaldinho's hate is much deeper than it seems. The real reasons will make you see why the Brazilian team is definitely not okay and why things are getting worse. In fact, Ronaldinho's claims against the Brazil national team are the claims of every single Seleção fan. It all started in the autumn of 2023, after Brazil began playing qualifying matches for the 2026 World Cup. FIFA has expanded the number of participating teams in North American Mundial to 48, and in South America, 6 out of 11 teams now go directly to the final part of the tournament. Missing the World Cup has become harder than qualifying for it. But that's exactly what Brazil risks getting and what Ronaldinho hates now. The team picked up only 7 points in 6 games, winning 2 of them and losing 3. The series of failures at the end of 2023 was particularly painful. The Brazilians drew 1-1 with Venezuela and then lost 0-2 to Uruguay, 1-2 to Colombia, and 0-1 to Argentina. Seleção's football was falling apart all over, and tactical idea disappeared, and the players were doing random things on the pitch. During training and matches, Rafinha dribbled and lost the ball out of the blue, and Antony, as always, was sprinting around ridiculously. The defensive partnership of Marquinhos and Gabriel Magalhães was supposed to be a showcase of reliability, but in reality, it didn't even come close. Suddenly, Brazil was plagued with a lot of problems. The recent friendly against the United States, in which the team played poorly and accepted a 1-1 draw, was the last straw for Ronaldinho. He's right when he says that the Brazilians no longer show any love for football and there are no leaders on the field, which makes the matches hard to watch. There are simply no players in the team who have the aura, magic and game-changing brilliance that was common for Pelé, Ronaldo and Ronaldinho. This became particularly noticeable after Neymar's serious injury last October. However, this is only part of the problem. What lies hidden is a real danger for the team. Brazilian football is in trouble. Ronaldinho and all the fans are worried that in the last decade, the Brazilians have been stagnating in the development of players, coaches, and management. Tactical evolution has also stopped. Joga Bonito is disappearing as a philosophy. The legends of the past have retired. There is a clear lack of quality in key positions in the national team, and the worst thing is the conflict in the Confederation of Football, which ties all the processes together. In addition to the fact that there are scandals around the CBF based on corruption and match fixing, the leaders simply cannot create a clear plan for the development of the national team. So again, Ronaldinho knows what he's talking about, and it's another big explanation for his hate. After the failure at the 2022 World Cup, Tite resigned as head coach of the Brazilian national team. He was to be replaced by Carlo Ancelotti. In 2023, the CBF began to boast that the Real Madrid coach was almost hired and that the Italian specialist would start working after spending another season at Real. While Ancelotti was still working for that year in Madrid, President Ednaldo Rodriguez appointed Fluminense manager Fernando Diniz to the national team. His game plan is almost similar to that of the coach that will take over at Copa America, Ancelotti. We don't call him an interim coach of the national team. He will come and make the transition in Brazil for Ancelotti, Ednaldo pointed out. What happened next? The Brazilians failed with their plan. Despite the verbal agreement, Ancelotti stayed at Real Madrid for the next season, and CBF lost a whole year for nothing. Who pushed them to make these public statements about Ancelotti when nothing had been signed yet? A complete failure on the part of CBF, and everything that happened next was no longer surprising. Fernando Diniz didn't have time to rebuild the national team in a short time. The side was performing poorly, so the Pentacampeones have changed 3 interim coaches in the last 15 months. The newest pick was Dorival Jr., a 62-year-old veteran coach of Brazil's Serie A, who won the 2022 Copa Libertadores. Far from being an impressive appointment, it did not add to the optimism of Ronaldinho, fans, or pundits. However, Dorival expressed hope that he could get the Brazilian national team back on track. It's a difficult time we are going through, yes, but nothing that's impossible to reverse quickly. The new coach started to make radical changes. He decided to change generations and removed from the squad all those who showed poor form at the club level. Dorival left Thiago Silva, Casemiro, Richarlison, and Gabriel Jesus out of the Copa America squad. The coach has spent all his hopes on the new young star Endrick. The Seleção manager made the move with the future in mind, yet he is playing with fire. Since Dorival is an interim coach, he will probably leave the national team after the Copa America, unless the team wins gold medals. Since 2001, Brazil have not lost more than 1 match in any of the Copa competitions, and since then, the Seleção have won the tournament 3 times. What are their chances this time? At the Copa America, Brazil will play in Group D, which includes Colombia, Paraguay, and Costa Rica. Despite all the problems of the Pentacampeones, the statistical portal Opta estimates their chances of taking first place in the group at 60.5%. If Brazil enters the playoffs from the first place, they will have a clear path to the final, as their main rival Argentina will not face Dorival Jr.'s team before then. However, according to Opta odds makers, the probability that the Brazilians, not the Argentinians, will win the Copa is not the highest. Seleção are given 23.3% in contrast to 30.8% for Lionel Messi's team. The Brazilians are really far behind Argentina, and this is recognized, for example, by forward Rodrigo. Brazil, in every competition, every game, are always favorites. Of course, we are behind Argentina. They are the world champions, current champions of the Copa America as well. But we are with all the ability to change the situation and make Brazil return to the best in America and the best in the world. And going back to Ronaldinho, best in the world? Doesn't that give Ronnie at least a little bit of optimism about the rebirth of the Brazilian national team? And does he really think what he said about the current Brazilian team? And here we are for the strangest moment. All the criticism from Ronaldinho turned out to be a hoax. The next day, after the scandalous comment, Gaucho explained everything. I said that to get a reaction from everyone. I'm gonna support Brazil like never before. Of course, I'm supporting them. Brazil need this support. The young players have a lot of talent and they are in need of support from Brazilian people. I teamed up with Roxana to support Brazil, and we will create this massive chain of support for Brazil. So Ronnie said all these just to advertise Roxana? What an absurdity and strange PR for Ronaldinho. However, many of his points still made sense, and Brazil will have a lot to think about while sitting next to the Copa America trophy that fans have been waiting for. And mark our words, this tournament will be just as hot as Euro 2024. And while South America is still waiting, the England team is ready to win the Euros in a super powerful way. What did Gareth Southgate come up with? How will Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden, Bukayo Saka, and Cole Palmer destroy the opponents? And what did the supercomputer say about England's chances? You have to see it, so click on the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel.